I don't know how many times I've explained this, probably 1 or 2 dozen at this point, that cell phones are tracking devices. Smartphones are tracking devices on steroids. Anything that says it's smart, like a smart toaster, basically means, hey dog, I heard you like toast, so I gave your toaster cellular capabilities so that it can tweet while it's toasting your bread. By the way, the firmware is also really insecure. We basically hired some CS student as an intern to write it and paid him $100. Oh, what's that? Our budget for the smart toaster was only $100? No. You misunderstand. We spent $100 on research and development, and then we spent $10,000 on advertising. Yeah, that's the deal with anything smart. Now here's the thing. Before you throw your phones in the trash and you buy a one-way ticket to Pennsylvania to go live amongst the Amish, you should probably know that your data in particular is not that interesting. Maybe to corporations it is. I'm sure that they'll go ahead and purchase your data and mine through it so that they can figure out all of your likes and dislikes, and then they'll send you targeted ads using your most favorite waifu to shill grape juice to you. But in terms of the government, they probably don't care that much about you. Sure, the NSA, they're still going to collect your data anyway, just in case you decide to start emailing the word jihad a bunch, and then maybe they'll assign a guy to listen to your phone calls. But the internet meme of everybody having their own FBI agent watching their internet searches in real time, it's just that, a meme. You don't get your own FBI guy until you and some buddies build a compound in the middle of nowhere and start worshiping Jesus. Then, not only will the Alphabet Boys start listening, but they'll actually pay you a visit, shoot your dog, burn down your compound with all of your kids inside, and they'll receive a medal for it. So the point is, if you're a person of interest, you are going to be watched very closely, and so you should probably avoid things like smartphones. And if you're a Ukrainian Fed, then I would imagine that every single Russian soldier who has invaded your country or is involved with the war effort in any way would be a person of interest to you. Ivan, Nikolai, some other Russian name, those are all people of interest to the Ukrainian government. Which is why it boggles my mind that these guys, these military-trained guys who are invading another country, can't turn their damn cell phones off. Quick rundown of how cellular networks work. In order to receive a signal, the cell phone towers need to roughly know what your location is. If you're on LTE and you open Google Maps to see where you are and you think to yourself, gee, this thing is pretty darn accurate, it knows exactly where I am. Yeah, it does. And the person who controls those cell towers knows exactly where you are as well. So when you march out of the motherland into Ukraine, you are now connecting to Ukrainian cell towers, and now all of Ukraine, or at least the telecom companies and the government, know where you are. It just blows my mind how much money, how much time has been spent on military research over the years, developing better camouflage, even going so far as to put dark paint on soldiers' faces or having them wear masks so that the sun doesn't reflect off of their face and give away their location. There's been improvements to sniper scopes to make them no longer give off any glint in the sunlight. There's even stealthy ways to build fires, like the Dakota fire hole, which doesn't produce a whole bunch of smoke that would give away your location. Thousands of years of military stealth technology thwarted by one guy in your battalion calling home with his cell phone or making a quick TikTok video. There's also been cases where I guess the Russian soldiers didn't necessarily have smartphones themselves, or maybe they kept them off, whatever. They were practicing good Opsec or whatever is considered good Opsec as far as their training goes, because I'm sure that they go over this. I'm sure there's gotta be one Russian higher up somewhere who's like, oh yeah, by the way, turn your damn phone off when we cross the border into Ukraine, because then they're going to know about our location. So maybe some of them actually did that, but then some of these soldiers go and steal some smart device from a dead Ukrainian soldier, or more commonly, they steal them from civilians' homes after they have fled the city. And then that gets used to track their location and give away the position of the whole squad. There's this one story of AirPods that were stolen from a Ukrainian man's home by some Russian soldiers, and he's just been sitting there tracking them ever since. Apparently, he was able to track their retreat from Kiev, and then the forces crossed the border into Belarus, and they eventually reached Belgorod, and then Russia starts amassing more troops for an assault on the eastern region of Donbass. I know I probably pronounced most of those cities wrong, okay? Bear with me here. I barely speak English as it is. Slavic bros, feel free to correct me in the comments below. But I just can't get over how ridiculous all of this is. Like, imagine if this technology existed back in 1775 when the British invaded America during the Revolutionary War, and George Washington was able to track the entire British Army after some girl in Massachusetts left her AirPods on a table, and one of the British soldiers picks this up and says, "Oh, this is fancy, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my pocket." Oh, the war would have been so much easier. George Washington, he would have never had to cross the Delaware. Or imagine if the German soldiers, following the orders of a rejected Austrian painter who took up politics, started looting iPhones from abandoned French houses during the Blitzkrieg. That war would have been over a whole lot quicker. I mean, you could have just sent planes to bomb the last known location of the iPhone, and boom, war is over. I imagine that's probably a lot of what is going on right now with this Ukrainian conflict. It just doesn't make any sense to me why these guys doing what they're doing would keep their phones on and on their person at all times. Best case scenario, when you bring your iPhone to war, is you have a little bit more entertainment, right? The little plastic and metal rectangle, yeah, they're a lot of fun. But you're constantly giving away your position. I guess you could turn it off whenever you're marching so that your movements aren't tracked, but you're gonna show up as a blip on the government's radar whenever you turn your phone on. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is your phone gives away your whole squad's location, all of you get ambushed or bombed or something like that, you get killed, and then later on, a video like this gets made where a Ukrainian soldier uses your phone to call your widow or your mom to tell her what happened. You don't want to go out that way, all right? So leave your phone at home. But I highly doubt that any Russian soldiers watch my videos or look at any Opsec guides in general for that matter, because this is happening. So I guess we could just laugh at the absurdity of smartphones being used as a combat tool in current year. Like and comment to hack the algorithm. Follow me on Odyssey, and have a great day.